All right, today we're going to go on a bit of an inner journey to really get a handle on how our own minds work. We're going to explore a framework that comes from the original teachings of the Lord Buddha, and it gives us this incredibly powerful way of seeing reality as it is, moment by moment. So let's dive right in. So let me just start with a question for you. Have you ever really stopped to wonder where a thought or a feeling actually comes from? I mean, they just sort of appear, right? One minute you're fine, the next you're feeling anxious, or you're lost in a memory. How does that actually happen? Well, according to these teachings, to really get what's going on, we have to kind of shift our attention. We usually think of our mind as being, up in our head, but the felt experience, the raw sensation of an emotion or a thought popping up, is often felt most clearly right here, in the heart or the chest area. This is going to be our laboratory. Okay, so if this is our lab, what are we looking at? Well, we're observing what are called the five aggregates, or panchakanda in Pali. Just think of them as the five basic ingredients that come together to create literally any single moment of your conscious experience. And what's wild is just how complete this framework is. I mean, everything you could possibly experience fits into one of these five buckets. Let's just run through them real quick. You've got form. That's your body and the world around you. Sensation. That raw feeling of pleasant, unpleasant, or just neutral. Perception. That's how you label things, how you recognize them. Mental formations. These are your thoughts, your intentions, all your reactions. And last, consciousness. The basic awareness that just knows the other four are happening. At any given moment, these five together, that's what we call us. So, we've got these five ingredients. Now what? How do we actually work with them? Well, that's where the Four Noble Truths, or Katari Arya Sachani, come in. But let's just park any ideas you might already have about them. We're not going to look at them as some abstract beliefs. Instead, we're going to see them as a super practical, active framework, like four specific jobs your awareness needs to do. Just look at this. This changes everything. The first truth, dukkha, that word often translated as suffering or stress, it's not something you're supposed to run away from. Its job is to be known. The second truth, the cause, samudaya, its task is to be observed, and in that observing, it gets let go of. The third, cessation, nirodha, is just meant to be witnessed. And the fourth, the path, magga, is something we actually have to develop. See, it's a completely dynamic, hands-on process. Okay, so theory's great, but let's make this super real. We're going to take this four-task framework and apply it to one of the most common things we all deal with, a single, ordinary thought. We're going to zero in on one thought. In this system, thoughts belong to that aggregate of mental formations, or sankhara khanda. It could be anything, a little worry, a happy memory, a plan for what to eat. It doesn't matter at all if it's a good thought or a bad one. We're just going to watch. So the second a thought just appears in your mind, the work begins. That experience of a thought arising, that is the first truth, dukkha. Now, dukkha doesn't just mean horrible pain. It's more like this subtle, built-in unsatisfactoriness in anything that's temporary, like a thought. Your job isn't to judge it or follow it down a rabbit hole. The first task is simply to know it, to clearly recognize, a thought is here. That's it, seriously. But what do we usually do? The moment a thought shows up, we almost instantly react in one of two ways. You know how it is. If it's a pleasant thought, we grab it, we indulge it, we want more. If it's an unpleasant one, we resist it, we try to shove it away, we want it to just stop. And that very reaction, that's a perfect illustration of the second truth. That push and pull, that desire to continue the thought or to stop the thought, that is tanha, or craving. This is samudaya, the cause of our stress. And so the second task is just to see this craving in action, to simply notice, there's a desire to get rid of this, or there's a desire to hold on to this. This brings us to what is maybe the most crucial and definitely the most counterintuitive part of this whole process. How do we deal with this craving, this tanha? It's the natural question, right? If this craving is the problem, then we have to do something to get rid of it. We have to actively let go. And here is the profound, almost paradoxical answer. You don't. You don't do anything at all. Because think about it. Trying to force yourself to let go is just another form of aversion, another type of craving. So, the key insight here is this. The task isn't to destroy craving. It's just to know it. When you can see the craving clearly, that desire to push or to pull, with a steady, non-judgmental awareness, it just runs out of fuel. It's like a fire with no more wood. It just ceases all on its own. The knowing is the letting go. And that natural fading away of craving, that is Nirodha, the third truth. It's not some far-off enlightened state. It is an immediate experience you can have right now. The very moment that craving is seen with clear awareness, it dissolves. And your third task? It's simply to witness this, to watch it happen. Okay, so we've seen the thought, we've seen the craving, and we've witnessed that craving cease. Let's look at our final section, which really brings this all together. This leads us right to the fourth truth, Magga, the path. And here's another huge shift. The path is not a set of steps that leads to some future destination. The path is the very act of seeing this whole process unfold, from moment to moment. The awareness itself is the path. So let's just put it all together. The entire sequence is just one seamless flow of awareness. Knowing the thought arises is the first task. Seeing the reaction to it is the second. Witnessing that reaction dissolve is the third. And the skill of doing all of this, of developing this clear seeing awareness, that is the path itself. And what this all really points to is this radical shift in perspective. The goal was never to wrestle your mind into submission, or to stop thoughts, or to force yourself to feel a certain way. The real task, the real path, is simply to understand how your mind works, with wisdom and with compassion. So, I'll leave you with a simple experiment. Forget trying to meditate for an hour. Just for today, can you pick one single thought that arises and just apply this framework? Don't try to change anything, just watch it. See what happens when you shift your goal from controlling your mind to finally understanding it.